Welcome back, class. So we're in the last section of chapter 5, temperature measurement. So our learning objectives are to convert temperature between Celsius and Fahrenheit. Temperature is a factor in dealing with chemical compounds. So there are two temperature scales used in measurement temperatures. One is the Celsius system and the other one is the Fahrenheit system. So Daniel Fahrenheit, a German physicist, invented an alcohol thermometer in 1709 and then went on to create a mercury thermometer in 1714 and then came up with the temperature scale in 1724. This temperature scale was based on ice, water, and salt as a low point of 0 degrees Fahrenheit and the human body temperature as high as 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit used his own body temperature as a standard, but in the years that follow, scientists later found out that body temperature varies. So they went ahead and changed Fahrenheit scale to keyed to water for both the low point and the high point. So remember, Fahrenheit used the low point for water and the high point for his own body temperature, but scientists changed it to include both of them in water. So the freezing point of water at sea level was set to 32 degrees Fahrenheit, and the boiling point was set to be 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Then later in 1740, Anders Celsius, a Swedish astronomer, developed what became the Celsius or the centigrade thermometer. In Celsius measurement, water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius and boils at 100 degrees Celsius. So pharmacy technicians must be asked or may be asked to help patients convert between temperatures readings in Celsius and Fahrenheit. As with all conversions, this calculation must be done accurately. So usually you follow a formula to solve for the conversions. So as a pharmacy technician, you must know these conversions. The formulas for converting from one temperature measuring system to the other are based on the fact that each Celsius degree equals to 1.8 or 9/5 of each Fahrenheit degree. So here are the formulas. So from converting from Celsius to Fahrenheit, so the known factor is Celsius, so this is the equation. So 9 times degrees Celsius divided by 5, then you would then you would add by 32. Or you can use the 1.8. So Fahrenheit would equal 1.8 times Celsius plus 32. And converting from Fahrenheit to Celsius, if the Fahrenheit is known and you want to know what Celsius is, you would then subtract the Fahrenheit by 32. Then you would multiply by 5 and divide by 9. Or you would subtract the Fahrenheit by 32 and then divide by 1.8. So let's look at the following examples. So 40 degrees Celsius is equivalent in Fahrenheit scale. So we want to know the Fahrenheit and we know Celsius, so we'll just substitute the known value. So 9 times the Celsius divided by 5 plus 32 is our equation. So we'll plug in 40 for Celsius. So 9 times 40 is 36. 36 divided by 5 is 72 plus 32 will give us 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Now converting from not this one. Now converting 82 degrees Fahrenheit to Celsius, so the known value is Fahrenheit. So the equation we're going to use is Fahrenheit minus 32 times 9 divided by 5. So 82 minus 32 is 50. Multiply that by 9 divided by 5 will give us 27.777 degrees. So again, we round off to the tenths place. So looking at that first 7 after the decimal and then the value next to it's a 7, it's greater than 5, so you would round off that 7 after the decimal to an 8. So our answer would be 27.8 degrees Celsius. And I'll skip that one. So monitoring temperature in pharmacy practice. Medications are required to be stored under specific temperature conditions. Some medications must be stored in refrigerated conditions. So refrigerated conditions are defined as being between 2 degrees Celsius to 5 degrees Celsius, or 35.6 degrees Fahrenheit to 41 degrees Fahrenheit. And again, these values, please remember them because it's very important when you start working in the pharmacy, that whenever a medication comes in from shipment, that you store it. If it tells on the box or the vial itself or whatever medication the medication comes in, if it tells you that it has to be stored between these temperatures, it's important that you put it in the refrigerator. Other medication must be stored in freezing conditions, so freezers for medication storage should be maintained at temperatures between 225 degrees Celsius and 210 degrees Celsius, or 213 degrees Fahrenheit up to 14 degrees Fahrenheit. Storing drugs outside of recommended temperature conditions compromises the quality and the safety of the drug. So if you do not store that medication as soon as it arrives to the pharmacy in the appropriate place, you lose the consistency of that medication, and therefore it might not be active, or it might not be good for that patient to take if it has not been stored at the appropriate temperatures. Pharmacy refrigerators and freezers for medication storage should be monitored, and the temperature should be logged daily. So in different pharmacies, you'll have a manual login sheet for the temperatures in the pharmacy, or if you wherever you work in a hospital setting, you'll be in charge of checking the refrigerator temperatures in each nursing unit. So it's very important that you understand and that you're able to read the thermometer inside that refrigerator. Many pharmacies use specific charts for recording temperatures, or refrigerators and freezers used for drug storage. So figure 5.4 and figure 5.5 on the following pages show these charts. So this is an example of a chart. So you would dot down on the first day of the month, the second, the third, the fourth, and so forth until the 31st of the month. You would put the month up here. So if it was, for example, April, you would put April, and you check the temperature on April 7th, and it was between these Celsius. You would jot down, put a dot where the temperature was. Any documented repairs that needed to be done, or any cleaning of that refrigerator. So sometimes it gets a frost on it. So you want to remove all that gunk out and clean those temperatures. So you would document that if you were to clean the refrigerator. Here's an example in Fahrenheit. And the same thing, you would put the month on here, and each day you would document on the chart where the temperature was documented. So in summary, patients are most familiar with household measurements such as tea, spoonfuls, and cups. Household measuring devices are often less accurate than the measuring devices used in the pharmacy. Household measurements must be easily converted to metric using either the ratios and proportions or using dimensional analysis. Some drugs are dosed based on patient's weight in kilograms, so it's very important that you understand how to divide by 2.2 pounds if you're converting from kilo to pounds. Preferred measurement for liquid oral doses is milliliters, so it's the metric system. Most oral doses are between 2 ml to 60 ml, or roughly half a teaspoon to 2 fluid ounces. Teaspoonfuls and fluid ounces conversion should be memorized, so 1 teaspoon is equal to 5 milliliters and 1 fluid ounce is equal to 30 milliliters. Celsius uses a measurement system which is 0 degrees in freezing up to 100 degrees in boiling, while Fahrenheit uses the system of 32 degrees in freezing and 212 degrees boiling. Temperatures in pharmacy refrigerators and freezers must be checked daily to ensure medications are being stored within the appropriate temperature ranges. And that concludes the last section of this chapter. Again, feel free to email me if you have any questions, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you, and see you in the next video.